Greetings, everyone. This is David Littlejohn from Littlejohn Financial Services. It is currently April 14th on Good Friday, and about 2 in the afternoon. The markets have been closed since yesterday, though, so we've had a shortened trading week. The things to note, markets have finished down for the week. The S&P 500 in particular went from about 23.57 down to just below 23.29. So just a shade under that. So anyway, been a rough week. In fact, we've seen a lot of negative momentum. The markets are now trading below, or the S&P at least is trading below its 50-day moving average. The question is, what's going on? Has the economic data changed? Not all that much. In fact, things are still, generally speaking, pretty good. All of our internal indicators tell us that we still have a green light for the market, but there's a lot of uncertainty, and what's been very interesting to watch is the Trump administration, and Donald Trump in particular, as he becomes more of a politician. And so the rhetoric from the campaign is starting to meet the reality check of Washington, D.C. and geopolitics. So this week's been an interesting one. There was, of course, if you watch the news, you know that there was a bomb dropped on, I believe it was ISIS in Afghanistan. There's also been, if you watch France, they are now in a four-way runoff for their presidential election. And that is a very interesting one that we're watching keenly, because depending on the results and who makes the final two, we could end up with a fairly extreme polarization between either the extreme left or the extreme right. And if it ends up being a very conservative official elected, it's possible that France could follow Britain and look for not a Brexit, but a Frexit. So we're watching that as well. Meanwhile, we continue to have deteriorating relationships with Russia, as they've been involved with Assad, and there was a chemical weapons attack, or at least an alleged chemical weapons attack. And we've also seen a change in rhetoric on how China is being viewed. So now China is no longer being labeled as a currency manipulator. So again, lots of changes. And what does this really mean? It means lots of uncertainty for the markets. So when there's uncertainty, of course, that means that the markets struggle to make decisions about where to go. A lot of people have asked me if I think there's a significant crash on the horizon, and I don't know that that's the case, but I do want to point out a couple of areas just really briefly that the market is looking at. I know this is a complicated chart that I'm showing here, but you can see where the market opened for the week and then where it closed. So that's that 23.57 level and then the 23.28.95 level. The areas that we're watching, this little green dotted line is the 50-day moving average, but below it there is a gray dotted line. And you can see it's right about at the number 2300. That's the 100-day moving average. So we're going to keep an eye on that one, and then we're going to keep an eye below that at about the 2225 level for the 200-day moving average. These areas are what's known as support. And so if the market does begin to decline in value, we're going to see if those areas hold, meaning that the price firms up and then returns back to the current pricing, or if it falls below those lines and gets worse. So I have no idea where it's going to go per se. The economic data, as I said, hasn't deteriorated that much, but the geopolitics is pretty nasty. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll keep you up to date. As always, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact our office. We can be reached at 541-375-0898. You can also send me an email at info@littlejohnfs.com. Please don't forget as well to give us a like on the video. Click subscribe if you'd like to receive future updates when we post these videos. And of course, we always appreciate when you tell a friend. Thanks, everyone. Take care.